just to give it
Oh,
a little bit of oomph.
let me do a transition. Hello and welcome to Six Faces Sunday. This is your card-carrying cryptozoologist, Dave Chaffins, and joining me is my favorite photographer from the internet, Austin O'Connor. How you doing, Austin?
Photographer from the internet.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take your essence and just like drill it down so I can just get like an elevator pitch for you.
Okay. I think that you've been experimenting every week, and you're just getting closer to gold. It was weird to hear the new name. I'm not used to this branding. I don't think yet. It's still just kind of like, I don't know.
It's all new branding. It's all new everything. You know, when you got new jeans, you got new.
New boot
I don't
goofing?
know where new boot goofing. That's what you like to say. How would you feel if I'm thinking about submitting you to The Bachelor, just like writing your application and just like sending. Here's the thing, okay? Now you're gonna be like no, but here's the thing. Number one, you want to get your photography real big. Holy crap!
It's true.
Holy crap!
Couple episodes on there, I'd be.
Couple episodes on there. Here's the
Yeah.
thing,
I don't have to win. Just make an appearance, right?
right? And here's
I'd
the
have
thing.
to shave this and get a tan though.
No, you don't need that. You're gonna be endearing.
Yeah.
It's like a new style of gameplay. You're gonna be endearing. You're gonna be
Okay.
delightful. And
Yeah.
and here's the thing. You know what every Instagram influencer wants is
What?
a really good photographer boyfriend, and like that's like the ultimate pairing. I
True.
mean, if you're talking about like sweet and sour, you know, pickles on a chicken biscuit, you know. Like the perfect pairing would be the influencer and the photographer.
You're not wrong.
And
I
here's the
think
thing.
So it's like a job application. I'm on TV. I'm not gonna win, but I'm putting myself out there. My work. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially. And here's the thing: the people that win, the people that actually like go through and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get engaged." It's pretty much always a fake engagement, you know?
yeah, it's
Like,
true.
They never work out, and then it's like really, it's just like doing media for a year, and then
Yeah.
everybody goes their separate ways, and that's how it works.
I feel like it's that way with all like Love Island. I feel like it's the same way. Like it never actually sticks.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe you're onto something. I never thought about that. I've only ever watched like I think one full episode of The Bachelor, so I don't know.
I'm gonna. I actually. Here's the thing. This isn't my idea. This is my wife's idea, and then she told
My wife.
my wife, and then she told all of her girlfriends, which also know her idea, and so it's pretty much out of my hands. Like this could already be happening, but I wanted to prep you for it so that you knew.
Okay. Like I said, I'll clean up a little bit. I kind of just for TV appearances, trim this. I got to get my hair back where I cut it. I got to get a little bit of flow, a little bit of lettuce going.
You don't have to get your hair back. You just have to get more hair. You can't get it back, once it's gone.
No, I just got to get it backed out a little bit. I need
Okay.
I need a little bit of like lettuce, just a little bit of salad going on.
You need a little salad.
I need a little bit of
Okay, I
salad
need
up
a
top.
little Caesar dressing on my little head,
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well,
but
what
that's
if-
not a terrible idea. I think your wife is onto something on that. And like I said, I wouldn't win it at all. Some, 25-year-old from like Fort Lauderdale, just pristine abs and a tan probably win it. But you know what? I have heart, and I think that I think that I could bring that to the table.
I think you
So
have heart, and I think that you'd be delightful. I think you would be like a fan favorite. I already
I would
cast
be
you
like
as
the
like
one everybody feels sorry for. I'd be like, we really like Austin because
you
he's
would be
nice,
like
but
you would be like most. So here's the thing: in the game, what they call there's the winner is what I call. There's the winner, which is the person that gets chosen from that season to be the next bachelor or bachelorette.
yeah,
Then there's the crown, which is the person that's picked at the end. Now the crown is not like a that's not like like getting picked at the end, not prestigious
yeah,
because then you got to go do this stuff. But the people that play it up through, up to the final rounds and stuff, and then they get picked because the producers, create some sort of drama or something around them, and then it's part of their
yeah,
story. And they always move those people into big roles. So I mean, best case scenario here, you let's say you don't even want to do the engagement on the show. You just go to them and be like, I can't. I'm not in love with you. You're not my person. And then you run away. And then they play that really sappy music. And then you're like, you're like jogging. You're going.
and then it's viral.
And then it's viral, yeah. And then you become the runaway groom. And then they try to find the lady for you in the next season. I've got this planned out. I should be.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
If you want to get into reality TV, I can be your manager. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think it's a good idea. I think you all have it like pretty well figured out.
Yeah.
Maybe so yeah, I could be like I can't wait for my like the background montage they do on me and like my introduction, and it's just me like hiking and just like with a camera, just very like I don't know, it's kind of cheesy, just like snapping stuff.
Yes.
Take a deep breath of that mountain air. It's
You can be
like
nature boy, and then
the granola white guy on the show.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
here's the thing: every single white guy on that show has a podcast that they do on their own. So, I mean,
This is true.
You'd be among them.
I hit that qualification.
You did. You did hit that qualification.
I would be like the relatable guy though, I think.
You would.
I'd be the guy that like I'm not working out every day during the show. I'm like, let's go get a beer. And, I don't have a six pack. So I'm like the working man's contestant,
Yeah, I think would be a good play for all the audiences, which there are 4 audiences in that show. The first audience being the person that's the bachelor, the bachelorette. The second audience being all the other contestants, which you would I think unknown if you're good for the girl, but definitely for the other guys you would be pretty good. Then there's the producers.
Wait, hold on.
What are you talking about?
I don't know how to take that. Is it I'd be good for them because they're going to advance on very easily past me, or
You're just a very friendly sort, you just like
good
to
as
make
like
friends.
a friendly.
Yeah,
I thought you were low key roasting me like very subtly
No,
there.
no. I'm only here to build you up. So the
Okay.
third audience is the producers. Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
The producers, they just tell you what to do. As long as you do what they tell you to do, you're good.
Yeah.
Fourth audience and the most important one are the viewers. So I think that like across that like 4-level playing field, you'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, if they can just give me a little bit of makeup, fix these bags under my eyes, make me look a little more alive while I'm on it, I'm in. I'll do it. Maybe give me like an edge up so I don't have to. I need to, I can't decide. You know how I am with this beard. I grow it, I cut it, I grow it, I cut it.
Don't cut it. Don't cut it. Don't do that. Don't do
Maybe I'll
that.
just leave
I
a
mean, just like
mustache.
trim it. You can just trim it down.
I'll just leave a mustache.
Well, you should.
Like leave a Fu Manchu, bring it down.
You should.
Although this doesn't connect as well as I would like it to right here.
Yeah. Well, mine
Maybe
doesn't
they could
connect.
do that.
I mean, mine is just like it's like a 3-parter. It's like I'm not, I'm coming in with like a nice like 3-piece suit. I'm not coming in with like I'm like the Michelin snowman in my
The Michelin
giant
snowman.
No, I'm just like a small 3-piece suit that you put on. You're like, okay, here are my 3 pieces. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's also
Okay.
because I can't grow the rest of it very well.
Well, I've had that problem. My beard is strange. For years, it would not connect. It was the rattiest looking beard in the world. It's still not great, but
I mean,
we
you're
take what
pretty
we
great.
get and we don't throw a fit. Thank you. You're great. You're great. And for you all for wanting me to be on The Bachelorette, that touches my heart in a special way.
I'm glad. See, this is the presentation. Now I can go back and tell the home team of ladies that you're down with the idea, and then they're gonna submit
I'm in.
you. Yeah.
I'm in. I got to get a little more TV ready. I've been lifting weights again, getting on that fitness program. Mostly just because I felt like hot roasted ass. Like I just didn't feel good. So I was just like, I got to do something about this.
I've been lifting too. I'll do some right now here. Oh,
Oh, that looks
oh,
good. Wendy's sounds so good
oh.
right now. I have to make grilled chicken tonight. Ugh. But I am really bummed that I didn't get to see you last weekend when we went whitewater rafting, and I hope in the
Yeah,
future that you guys can go with us.
yeah.
That was my first experience
What did you think?
on whitewater. I loved it. I thought it was super fun. It was a good time. Have you ever been before?
No.
It was because I'm pretty terrified of like rough water like that, but um, once I saw people fall out and just kind of float along and get out of the raft, like I felt pretty good. And then the guides were so good, like they were telling us, this rapid is such and such class, whatever. If you fall out, swim this way, or just back to the boat. Like it was very, like they were very prepared. They made sure that we knew what was going on. It was fun. You get out, get to swim in the river and kind of float under the bridge. That was like one of those like perfect life moments, just like on my back in the water, just like floating under the New River Gorge.
There you go.
So that was cool. Um, yeah, but we missed you.
Well,
Hopefully soon we
we'll
can
do it
all
soon.
go on a little river trip.
We'll do it
That would be
soon.
fun.
Well, I had one of our buddies out the night before.
I did hear that. I was not shocked when I found out that he was not feeling great.
So you all met at 5:30 a.m. and I took one of the couples. We went to the what we call them. It's a Mexican restaurant, but it used to be a Shoney's, so we called it the Mexa-Shoney's. And at the Mexa-Shoney's, we sat down. Our friend already had a jumbo margarita, and it was just like a jumbo margarita on rocks. That's what it looked like. And so we were like, okay, we'll take one of what he's having, And the waiter was like, "Are you sure?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure." So it turns out that he put an extra shot of tequila in his margarita, and so we had one of the most lively dinners I think that I have had in a long time. In the
He told me about that.
And then afterwards, we continued drinking till about midnight, and then he didn't drink any water that day. So the next morning, the pickup at Huntington was at 5:30 in the morning. So
Which, yeah, can we talk about his logic there?
yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah.
He's an hour and 10 minutes
Yeah, it's an hour and 10 away.
from Fayetteville, from the parking lot where he needed to be to raft.
Yeah.
He decided to drive an hour to Huntington to get in the van with the other group to ride to Fayetteville. So he went backward an hour to then drive 2 hours when he could have just driven the 1 hour straight there and been done.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. Like, am I missing? Like, you agree, right? Like, that's such weird logic.
Well, it's funny because like the other friend from Charleston that we had come in just drove herself down. Like just like didn't ride with them. Was just like, oh, I'm just gonna drive because it's right there.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
right there. It's almost the same distance. Like it's not from Charleston. It's not that much further.
I think he didn't want to go whitewater rafting and then be real tired and have to drive back. But he already would have to drive an hour after the 2 hour car rides. I don't know.
And typically I wouldn't even bring it up, but since it's him, like I have no problem roasting him, and I just think that I just don't get, and he's not even going to listen to this anyway. He doesn't listen to our show.
No.
I just thought that was the dumbest logic in the world.
It was.
We need to have like an Alex roasting session every episode until he finally like finds out and starts to listen to us.
Right. That's what we're talking about. The guy that was on the show, only like 3 or 4 episodes ago that just said he was going to pop up. He's quite the character. He's quite the character.
Yeah. I would like to get other people's opinions on that, on driving to get in the van. He said, I just didn't want to drive. Like, we just drove an hour the other way. You could have just driven that hour. I don't know.
Like, he could have waited and, like, sat outside for a little bit. And then, could have gotten up later. Could have, taken a little break. Because didn't you all like go out to eat after that or something?
Yeah, we went out to eat, got some food. I just don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's kind of an anomaly. Like there's a lot about him that sometimes I'm like, what is, what's going on? What's going on up there in your brain, bud?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I love him, but sometimes I don't get it.
I am unsure. Um, I think we should get into some news stories. I really like these news stories
Some
that we
fun
have tonight.
news stories, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll kick us off with one of my own here. All right. So a London
Okay.
YouTuber claims to have been abducted by aliens and fallen in love with one of them.
Living my dream.
So this London actress Abby Bella claimed that she saw a UFO, and to summarize this article, which I can do without reading it now because I prepped myself for this show, I want everybody to be really happy about that. This girl decided that she was watching these aliens up in the sky and was like, "Oh, I'd love to meet an alien one day." And then she said that she dreamed about it for a while, and then one day, while she was dreaming about all these white lights or whatever, the dream told her to wait in this spot. And so she went out to this spot, got pulled up into a UFO, and met 5 aliens. And one of the aliens, who the aliens looked apparently humanoid with green skin and very large black eyes, kind of like little green men, the classic alien design.
Right.
So she couldn't actually tell she couldn't make out, but she make out there, not make out with the aliens, but I'm sure she wanted to. She couldn't exactly make it out.
I would do it, yeah.
But apparently she a feeling just overcame her, and she decided that it was 100 times the normal love that she felt for anyone, and the alien put that out, and she felt that too. But apparently, in alien culture, it's very taboo to date a human. So they decided to go their separate ways. So that's what's happening. Here she's posing with the alien balloon. Maybe that's like her boyfriend pillow.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we all have those, right?
So
hold on. Side note, before we started the show, I forgot to plug my computer up, and it is dying. So keep going. I'm just gonna plug this up.
Sure, go ahead. Let's see here. Apparently she wasn't frightened by the alien. She was unfrightened. She felt pretty cool, and she lasted. She was just there for 20 minutes, and they sent her back down.
Well, I'm glad she wasn't frightened. I'm glad the alien was pretty chill.
Here's a quote. Aliens offer a, quote, extra quality of care, she said. Men of Earth just tell, quote, lies and have double standards.
Men ain't shit, but aliens are, and that's the moral of the story. Men are trash, aliens aren't. They take care of women better. They are nicer. But can we talk about how they straight up kidnapped her though? I feel like that kind of should negate them being kinder. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's just they didn't kidnap her. They came to her in her dream and told her to wait there and we'll come get you. And they got her.
And they did. Okay, so they're telepathic.
Right.
I wish I'd have one of these dreams. I just want to talk. I just want to be like, what's going on?
If you met an alien, what would you say? What would be your interaction? Would it be like, I'm in love with you, but we can't ever be together because, Romeo and Juliet story, and then the alien holds anyways, what would you say?
What would I say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't know. It's a moment I've dreamed of my whole life.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those things that I think that you just, when you get there, but you don't know what you'd say until you're really in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something I just want to keep private, just between me and them.
So you have something in mind, but you don't want you would come up with it and then not tell people.
No, yeah, I mean, I think I know what I would say. I just want to keep it between me and them.
I think I would want to
special moment.
I think I would want to play a trick, communicate with them and teach them really terrible jokes, so that later when they make contact with somebody else, it's just a series of dad jokes, like a
Yeah,
skeleton walks into a
you would do
bar.
that. I could see you doing that.
A skeleton walks into a bar, offers a beer, orders a beer and a mop, or what do you call an alligator at the crime scene wearing a vest? An investigator. Like if you like taught them that, if you like communicated that as like your piece of cultural relevance, I believe that you could that would be a great joke to play on other people. You know, because it's like
Yeah,
aliens are real and they're really really bad at comedy.
that makes me think about the Mothman hat, or not Mothman, the Bigfoot hats. Bigfoot is real, and he ate my ass.
Yeah,
You ever
the
seen those
hat and
hats?
the bumper sticker. I've seen that. Yeah,
Aliens are real, and they tell terrible dad jokes.
yeah. I need
It's a
that.
little
That
more family, a little more family friendly.
That's a good bumper sticker. If I saw that, see, normally the bumper sticker to, I would say there's a ratio. There's like a nice ratio of the amount of bumper stickers that you have to the amount of opinions that you're willingly sharing. And this
Yeah,
goes for anyone. This is like
yeah,
bumper stickers about whatever. Like it could be like bumper stickers about Sailor Moon, but like the amount you have is the amount of kind of like opinions that you're willing to obnoxiously put out there. There's a ratio.
yeah. Don't you love when you like see somebody's car and you can just immediately you're like, I know every single thing about this person just from the back of their car, and it's either good or bad. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's just super ignorant stuff, and you're like, a lot of times that helps me decide who I let merge in traffic. Like I
Does your
straight up, I will judge someone like
uh-huh.
if and I don't want to get into politics, but you know how I feel about a lot of things. And like if they are just obnoxiously, blatantly like blasting their opinions that are just very bad on the back of their car, they can have that blinker on all day. I ain't letting them over. Like they got to get behind me.
And the thing is, even like bumper stickers with like things that I agree with, if you
Yeah.
have too many of them, then you're just like you're not an asshole. You're just really annoying. Just
Yeah.
like like
Yeah, no.
the annoyingness doesn't stop. There's no like stopping point for that. It's just it's about that. You gotta have like two or three at the max.
How
Any
did we get
more,
on this? How did we get on this from an alien abduction story?
I don't know, but we should definitely move on to another one. So let's go to one of yours here.
Yeah.
Oversized goldfish are taking over one Minnesota lake, causing issues for local fish.
Yeah. See, so this one just sort of like I don't know how to explain like why this one stood out to me, but I think it's just that it terrified me so much
Mm,
because like I don't know, like I've never been a big fan of fish anyway,
hmm
but like seeing like giant ass goldfish, like it
hmm
doesn't look right to me. And if I ever came across one of those in the water, I would probably piss my pants. Like I can't do that. Like this is why I don't get in. Like I told you a few minutes ago when we went rafting last weekend, one of the first things that I saw in the first rapid, like we're paddling and we're going up to this like class 4, and this big ass fish just jumps out of the water, and like the whole boat was like fish. Like we were so entranced.
yeah.
I thought about that. I was like, oh yeah, there's like big fish in this river. And so when we're floating down the New, and I can't see like my feet in the water, I don't like that. I don't like stuff being submerged in water that I can't see. Like clear water, I can do. Like if I see a fish in clear water, cool. I know where it's at. It's there. I'm here. We're fine. But like a goldfish, part of this article, it talks about how they are like such an invasive species that like they like dig up all this stuff on the bottom of like the ponds and the lakes, and it's like making the water a lot dirtier and darker, and they're just really not. They shouldn't be there. So like if I'm in water and it's super murky, muddy, and I see that big ass orange face coming up, like, no, I don't want, ugh. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, it says they can live for like 25 years in the article,
hmm
which, like, I don't understand that because when I was a kid, I couldn't keep a goldfish alive for more than like 2 weeks. So, like, what?
Once you
I
get from the
have them in a
carnival from doing the
bowl.
ring toss, you go
Yeah,
over there do
I've
that
got
ring
them.
toss at the Memorial Day
Yeah,
carnival.
I have them in a bowl, like feeding them in clean water, like no
Yeah.
stress atmosphere, and it
Yeah.
lives 2 weeks. But these little son of a bitches can live in like a murky lake for 25 years fending for themselves. I just don't get it.
I feel like there's something we can scientifically learn from them. Like, I feel like that there's probably like an experiment out there that's like, hey, why are goldfish like so freaking adaptive? Like, can't we like,
Yeah. They
uh, uh,
grow depending on the size of their environment,
right? Like, can't
which
we
I
like suss
guess
out something from this? You know?
I just don't like that picture alone scarred me. Like seeing like there's no way I'm holding a big ass goldfish like that. I don't like it.
Yeah. Have you ever seen you've been on a Hinton and have you been to the there's like the I forgot the name of it. It's like a mom and pop diner, I guess, that's like down there.
Perks?
Yeah, Kirk's. You go
Yeah,
over
it's
there to
one of
the
my
edge.
favorites.
You go over there to the edge and just look down, and the fish know you're there, and they look up at you, and then they just open their mouths, and it's like this
Yeah.
swarm of fish that are
Yeah.
giant and have been fed French fries for years and years and
Yeah.
years that are just ready. They're if
Yeah.
a
They stick
baby fell
around.
out of somebody's arms, the baby would be gone. The baby
Yeah.
would be eaten by the
Yeah.
fish.
I used to contribute to that when I was a kid. I would throw bread and stuff there. Because I thought it was amazing. And now, ugh, yeah. Also down there, have you heard about the Bluestone Lake and the fish that they found at the bottom of that lake when they've done dives? Yeah.
They are.
I have not since that. I have not gotten back in that water. We used to go tubing on that lake. I refuse to get in that lake.
Lakes are a different story because
They
it's
freak
stagnant
me out.
water. Where
Yeah.
rivers are moving water, and so generally the biggest thing you're gonna have in the water, like that's like touching you, are like just like large fish. Nothing like strange or
Yeah.
like
It'd be like
so
a yeah, like
immense.
a trout or something.
The biggest thing in West Virginia is probably a hellbender, like that's gonna be able to
Yeah.
like touch you, but they're not coming out of their hole, and you'd have to have your
Yeah.
feet like right on the bottom.
Yeah, the lakes creep me out. And like, what's that lake in Georgia? The Lake Lanier. Have you
Hmm.
heard about all the wild stuff that happens down there?
No, I haven't.
They built, it's like near Atlanta, and they built this lake similar to like how like the Summersville Lake was like all man-made. Summersville, they built it over Gad, so it was like this old town.
Right.
But like Lake Lanier, there were like actual towns. I think there were like some sort of Native American history. There was like African American, like kind of like little towns in there that were like
Hmm.
very prominent at the time. Um, Graveyards, cemeteries, all sorts of stuff down there that they made this lake over. And I don't know what the statistic is. Let me look up um, Lake Lanier deaths total. Every year there are there's some sort of like crazy accident, disappearance, whatever. From 1999 to 2018, on Lake Lanier, there were almost 60 boating fatalities and 145 drownings. And
My
then in
gosh.
20 from 2015 to 2018, there were almost 50 deaths on the lake just in those 3 years. Yeah. They find like I think that they said they were finding like dead bodies that had like were in graves years and years and years and years ago that have like finally come up out of the soil, like just decomposed bodies.
Yeah.
Um, and then the people that go missing, a lot of times they don't find them, and that's what they say is so creepy. There's been like stories for like paranormal people. People say that they're in the lake and they feel something like grab them, like almost like a force trying to pull them under the water. So that's another thing with that. Like lakes, I just don't mess with lakes.
Hmm.
I'm not a fan of lakes at all. Rivers are cool, but
So like it's funny that you mentioned that because New Orleans, when they first built that city, they were like burying all their dead on like the
mm,
levee essentially, and so when it would flood, all of the bodies would wash out and line the streets, and so it would
mm-hmm.
just be all of the
Ugh,
dead people that died in the past like 10 years or whatever whenever it flooded, that are just like washing into the streets. And I mean that's a pretty even back then it was a pretty dense city, and so that's where you have these stories like
yeah.
not necessarily like zombies have always been a thing, but like zombies, how
Mm-hmm.
we think about them came from those stories from New Orleans where it's like massive
Yeah.
amounts. Like there's always like necromancy or whatever that oh, Frankenstein, that kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
predates that, but the amount of things and that style of the rotted bodies and everything came
Yeah.
from them burying their people too close to the water, and that's why all of the cemeteries are like behind the city now. They moved them
Yeah.
all.
Well, we'll have to do maybe one episode soon. I'll bring some like Lake Lanier stories for us to talk about because it's
Yeah,
really creepy.
yeah.
I did kind of a deep dive because people were talking about it on Twitter a few months ago. So I just
Hmm.
kind of looked at some of the articles, and it really is alarming.
Yeah.
Like the wild stuff that happens there. Like people say, there's a lot of people I know that I follow from Atlanta that like refuse to go on Lake Lanier. Like it's a thing. Like they will not go out on Lake Lanier. Um, a lot of superstition. So
Yep.
it's really creepy. But that's like kind of what these goldfish, that's how we got to it. But the goldfish just freak me out. Anything underwater like that that's big and not natural. Like goldfish shouldn't be that big. When I see a
No,
goldfish, I think a little
the
a
little
little
guy,
fish.
just
I
a little
don't want
thing.
it's like
That thing is the size of like I don't
yeah,
know.
it just doesn't look natural. Like that the fish should not like that should not be that big. I don't know.
No,
I don't
no,
know. I don't
I
know.
veto
But
that.
that's one of the weird stories that I came across today.
Moving on, we've got volunteers sealed themselves inside a French cave for 40 days in deep time experiment. So in March, these how many people were it? It was 15 volunteers. They're trying to test how humans will react psychologically to essentially deep space travel and being in close proximity to people with no sunlight and no
Mm.
like they've done a few of these different tests, but this one they were like, okay, we're gonna do it with absolutely no sunlight. They're down in this confined space. The only source of light they have is like a bike pedaled light, so they don't have like normal electronics. They have to like get on a bike and pedal for the light. They have
Yeah.
enough like they have like food and stuff down there, like stuff that you would have, but they don't have any modern appliances or anything. But they're going to be
Yeah.
down there for 40 days.
Oh no. Mm-mm. No, no, no. That's too long. That's too long.
Apparently, they did this during. They wanted to say, okay, we're going to do this while the pandemic's still going on, so they have enough people to participate in it. Um, what would you do this if you okay no
No.
you would not
No, no, no,
volunteer?
no, no.
How much money? And like it'd be like no amount of money. Okay, okay.
No,
How much money?
I think I could be I would say and this has to be like after tax, like an after tax
Yeah,
number
yeah, yeah. We're
here.
not talking taxes. We're just
Yeah,
talking about like
this is
money in the
like
pocket.
I'm bringing this money home.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say at least 1 million for me to do it. Maybe like 750,000 if I'm banking all of that for 40 days. But like, I don't know. I would be much more likely to do it if it was like a week. Like I think I could do a week. 40 days, that's a long time. That's a lot. That's a lot of solitary like darkness and just I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't even know
That's
if I would
like
do it for 1 million because that like I like after that I would never want to like experience hardship ever again.
yeah,
You
and the
know?
darkness. Like that's the thing. Like think about coming up out of that. Like that I think after 40 days, like that could be deeply psychologically traumatizing. Like you're living completely different for a
Hmm.
long time. That's I don't know. I don't know. That's tough. Now, like I said, $1 million might change that. If I know that I've got that at the end, maybe I'm a little more motivated and I put up with it a little bit more. Is there like an escape button? Like if you are absolutely done that you can get out of there?
I'm looking at this.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I don't think I think that you can leave. Like you would be able to leave it, but that's not on the test parameters. So you would
Yeah.
like be excluding yourself from the test.
And where is this again?
It's in France. It's in let's see.
Yeah. That just it sounds like like an idea for a horror movie. Like they go down doing this and like it's like a psychological thriller. Like they all
Mhm.
start just murdering each other in the dark or something. I just don't think I could do it. I would go crazy. And like you can't how do you see to even get to the bike to power the light?
Yeah, that's my
Your eyes adapt eventually and like you start seeing like in the dark. Like
but
what?
like you don't know what day it is. like if you're not talking with anybody, like and you can talk to the people that are, but anybody that actually knows, like time
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything,
Yeah.
like, because you don't have sunlight, you don't
Yeah.
have watches, you're just down
That
there.
would be like think about that. Like you're like, am I on day 13? Am I on day 25? Am I still on like day 4? Where are we at here? Like
Yeah,
what are we doing?
yeah.
That would just be so like hopeless. I feel like I don't think I could do that. Like I said, sounds like the beginning of a horror movie to me.
Like, what
Not for
if
me.
it sounds like a game of Among Us, you know? Like, it's like, what if one of them is the imposter, and then it's like, pedal the bike
Yeah.
quickly so that the light can come on, and they race into the bike in the dark, but the monster's there, and then, they get on it to pedal it just enough so the light kicks on, and the monster's right in front of them and kills them.
Hmm.
Writes itself. Writes itself.
Writes itself. We need to get that to Hollywood.
I think we do. I think
Well,
we
yeah,
do.
that's terrifying. Ugh.
Let's move on to, I think, our final story of the day. Couple finds mama snake and 17 little snakes under bed.
See, listen, I don't
Paper
even have
just
to tell
published in Current
much of this. I'm not.
Biology.
I read the story, but I'm not even going to go into that much detail.
Mm-hmm.
I just, ugh, similar to the fish thing. This is just horrifying to me. I no, in my own home, in my home, you're gonna bring this fight to me under my bed. Like you're just gonna be a snake with 17 babies under my bed and not expect me to just burn the whole house down. I don't care. I'm matched down, running out the
Yeah.
door. I'm not grabbing any of my belongings. It's over. Like I'm
Snakes,
not
snakes in the house. Snake outdoors is fine with me. Like
fine.
snake in
Yeah,
the garden,
you do
that's
you.
fine.
Yeah,
Like
you do you.
but once it's indoors and this is under somebody's bed.
Yeah, and that many. That's what freaks me out. It's not. It wasn't like it's just like one little snake. I've had a snake in my house before,
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, just because we left the door open because I was a kid and I was stupid. You have technically 18 snakes under your bed. Come on, That's like nightmare fuel.
That's
Again,
at
I'm
that point you should be Voldemort. Like, like you should just be. You've either like it's the worst thing in your life, or you're probably the greatest supervillain in all of history. Like,
yeah. I just seriously. Also, I didn't even I I forgot what type of snake it was. Does it say there in the? I can't
let's
remember
see.
what it was. Because that also kind
Garter
of plays a
snakes.
role. Garter snakes. Okay, that's not. I'll say this. Not as bad. Garter
That's
snakes,
no.
but it's still a snake in my house,
Snakes
and I
are
have
weird.
a problem with that.
Yeah, snakes
Yeah.
are weird, especially when they're like the ones that fly in the air. Like a garter snake can fly in the air if it really tries, and that's
Just
weird
like
to
leaping through the air.
be essentially. And when you're on a hike and I see a snake, I'm like, oh, it's a snake. But sometimes I see a snake and it's like, what it does is it gets up on branches of the trees and is like threading itself through the branches, and so it looks like it's kind of like jumping almost through the
Yeah.
branches. And so when I see a flying snake, that's when I'm noping out of there. And I've seen
I
that
just
twice now.
have you ever seen a black racer? Those things suck. Like I've had one like chase after me before
Really?
when I was younger. They're so aggressive. Like they are not afraid of you. I feel like I don't know.
Weird.
I've seen some rattlesnakes on trails before, and typically they just kind of mind their business. Like one of them didn't even rattle. Like it was just off the side of the trail, and thank God it wasn't on. I mean, I didn't even see it until I was right up on it, but it didn't attack. It just kind of slowly
Just hung
slithered
out.
off.
Everybody's just
Um,
hanging out.
Hey, in the wild, hey, that's their home.
Yeah, that's their
You
home.
know, I don't bother them. They don't bother
fine.
me. We're good. But if you're under my bed, I'm just like pouring gasoline on you, lighting the fire, and I'm leaving. I'm never looking back. I'm gonna go start a new life in another state. Like I'm
Like,
done.
how do you get to that point? First of all, okay, how do you not know what's under your bed, right?
Yeah. How do you not hear something? Or
Like,
I don't really understand that fully here.
you got to put new sheets on the bed. So like, there's like some
Yeah.
effort of like you got to lift up your mattress a little bit, you know?
Also, you don't like have like your suitcase under the bed or something. Like you don't go on a weekend trip and grab your suitcase from under your bed or something like
Right.
that. Like
Or
I
when
don't
you
know.
vacuum, like, Or
I don't know.
you're supposed to, depending on the mattress you have, you can flip your mattress. You never did that. Like there's a whole and that's just the bed. Let alone the snakes getting into the house and
You
into
know they
that
gotta
area.
explore. It's not like they're just staying under the bed all day. How do you miss this?
So I forgot about this. I forgot about this. This is a funny story. You'll hate it. I had a buddy in
You'll hate
college.
it.
Yeah, I had a buddy in college who had a pet snake, and
Yeah.
he was the kind of guy he would just let his snake go about the apartment. Like
Uh,
and the snake was fine. And it was like, oh, let it crawl up you, and it would like, go up your arm and come around your neck and come back
yeah.
down. It was all chill, and you just chilled around because it was like if you were really anxiety, you could feel that, and then it was really anxious too or something. I don't know. I'm not a snake handler. But we would
Yeah.
go and get frozen pizza or whatever, and we would be like, just really look through the oven before you turn it on because the snake likes to go in there.
So you're just gonna fry this snake up.
How does it get into the oven?
Yeah, how does it get? Ugh, that's that makes me think about the people in cars that have snakes that crawl through their vents or something.
Yeah,
How do they get?
how do they get in
How?
there? Yeah, what's
I don't understand this.
what's the methodology here, and why the oven? And that makes me wonder. It's what else has this dude opened up and been like, oh, there's my snake, you know?
Snakes and spiders, tarantulas, are pets that I will never understand.
A
I will
tar-
never get it.
A tarantula
I just
is a
don't get
lot
it.
a tarantula is like a turtle to me. Where it's in its enclosure for pretty much the whole time until you get it out to be like, I own a pet. And it's like a rabbit. It's like you don't
And
let your
I'm just
rabbits go loose.
Yeah, I just feel like if I'm gonna own a pet, I want it to be a dog or a cat, or that's really it. I don't. Maybe I don't even really having fish because it's unnecessary maintenance. I don't know.
So you're just not a pet dude. You're just like I don't want to have.
I just a
fish.
dog and cat, just dog and cat.
That's pretty
person.
high maintenance, Well, cats are just
Cats are the most low maintenance. You just give them a litter box and clean it a few times a week and make sure they got food and water, and they just chill. They're good.
dogs.
But
On the other
I'm
hand,
more
are
of I'm more of a dog person just because they're a little more fun. But
well,
I
they
don't
are
hate
more
cats.
fun. Yeah, they are more fun.
I don't
They're
hate
more
cats, though.
active. They're more
Yeah.
and everyone that's like, oh, my cat is so active. Here's the thing: you got a cat that acts like a dog. That's the thing. Your cat is like, oh, my cat is so active with me and just loves me. It's like, here's the thing. All right, it learned from a dog. That's what happened. Those cats are just
Yeah.
and this is nothing against cats, but they're just like, you're here, I'm over here,
Yeah.
and
They
it's
They are
having
something.
having a roommate that you don't really know that
Yeah.
well, and then they'll
Yeah.
just come over and talk to you for a minute.
they get what they need, and then they
They do.
kind of just they whip back a little bit. I'm good. I got my fill. Dogs are just by your side all the time, loyal, compassionate animals.
Something like it. Well,
And you got a tarantula. What?
but they're fuzzy. I don't know. They're kind of cute. Like a tarantula's kind of cute. Like a fuzzy spider, I don't like being surprised.
I'm gonna
by
disagree
things.
on this one.
A fuzzy spider is cute, man. Come on. It's got you can pet it. You can pet the spider. You can't give it a belly rub or whatever. You can lightly pet it.
I had a pet rabbit when I was a kid.
That's cool.
I named him Ravioli.
Mhm.
It was ahead of my time.
I had a pet hermit crab as a kid, and then one day I went to camp and came back, and my mother sat me down. She said, by the way, while you were out, your hermit crab died. And I was like, oh no, what happened? She's like,
Yeah.
well, I had him, and he wasn't coming out of a shell, so we just buried him.
Mhm.
And I'm like, but it's a hermit crab.
So she buried a hermit crab that was alive.
She buried a live hermit crab. That when we went to go get it was dead. So,
No. Oh wow, that sucks.
all it needed was a
That
new
really
shell. It
sucks.
just needed a new shell. It wanted to
That
migrate.
really sucks. Oh, that's not fun. Poor little guy.
Yeah, I also am the victim of for 22 years of my life, knowing that I had a pet dog as a kid that went to go live
Uh-huh.
on a farm, and I thought that for 22 years until
Oh, you had that actually happen to you.
yeah. And my current wife, like I've got
My
I've changed
current
up so many times.
my current wife. Yeah,
My
my
current
current wife.
wife, let me go watch out. It's 5 o'clock right
Yeah,
now.
current one. Yeah.
So when we were dating, I was telling her about we were thinking about getting the dog that we have now. Who here? This is what we call dog cam right there. He's over there. When we were thinking about getting that
Oh,
dog, and she was like, do you have any experience with pets? And I was like, well, I had this dog as a kid, and he barked too much, so they sent him to the farm. And she was like, wait, they killed him because he
yeah.
barked too much? And I was like, no, they sent him to the farm. And she was like, oh, honey. And so
Oh,
then I called my parents and I was like, oh, hey, uh, what the hell?
why did you lie to me
Why
for
did you lie to
this
me?
long? That's
Yeah,
tough. That's a tough look. It's a tough look. But we all have that happen,
we
you
do,
know.
we do, we do.
Just
Well, we're going down a rabbit hole of real sadness here, but I want to do a real quick 180 here and ask you what you are excited for.
what am I excited for? Ooh, I got a good one. Um, I'm excited because in what is today? Like 2.5 weeks, I think, ish, 2.5 weeks. I'm going to see one James Buffett live in
Oh,
concert again. It's coming. The Jimmy Buffett concerts are back, baby. It's been what I think the last one I did was 2018. 2019 I couldn't go to. Obviously didn't happen in 2020. So it's been a few years, and oh buddy, I'm excited. I'm gonna be just probably not, maybe not blackout drunk. I'm gonna be pretty inebriated on the lawn of Jiffy Lube Live in Bristow, Virginia. Hawaiian shirt on, beer in hand, just singing along to Margaritaville.
in some ways, I like to think that it's like I have. Some ways you're much younger than me. Some ways, I'm much younger than you. In some ways, I'm much older than you. But let me tell you
Yeah,
something: the Jimmy Buffett love and like
yeah.
sincere admiration is probably the like weirdest old man thing about me.
I love Buffett, man. You have no idea. I love Jimmy Buffett. I listened to him all growing up with my dad, and so when I was a kid, I was like, "This guy rocks!" Like I love Jimmy Buffett, and so it just carried into my adulthood. And I mean, like I'll say this: I don't just like listen to him every day. Like it's not like I like have him in all my playlists or anything.
Right.
But like, there's a time, normally in the summertime, maybe you're close to some water. Nothing hits like some James Buffett, you know? Just a
Yeah,
little
I
James G.
understand.
Buff.
There's like it's like a time and place and a setting. Like you don't roll up in a club playing some Bon Iver, you know?
Yeah. Buffett just hits different when you're about 5 beers deep on a lawn in a Hawaiian shirt. Honestly, it's a religious experience. You can feel God there. And
I feel
I don't
God
want to
on
hear,
this patio.
yeah. Or, yeah, you're a couple beers deep on a patio at a bar. Guy playing music covers a Jimmy Buffett song. Sometimes I mean, you just kind of, it's just like perfect life moments, you know? And that's
That's a
one of them.
that's a good karaoke bit would be
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett. We've been doing more
But
we've been doing karaoke Fridays. And so
I've
now
heard
we're
about
becoming
that.
now I Alex does even more than I do it, and so he's become a staple. And so
Yeah.
he's so dumb and has this big emblem on his jacket that says Big Al, like he's a mechanic. This
Yeah.
dude is like tall, lanky, like not your mechanic looking guy. And
Yeah.
at this bar, which is like the old hangout spot for people since like 1956,
Yeah.
they do the karaoke night. It's run by the same guy, and he always does "You Can Call Me Al."
You can call me Al. My favorite thing is that I introduced one of my old college buddies to him a couple months ago. And anytime Kyle brings him up, he calls him Big Al. He's like, yeah, Big
Big
Al's over
Al.
there. Big Al was there. And I'm just like, the fact that now people know him as Big
Big
Al is
Al.
just something.
It's
And
beyond. It's
but
beyond.
Buffett karaoke. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I ain't doing Margaritaville. You got to do more
No,
like
and that's hard because then you're at the bar and everybody's like, oh,
yeah.
like you gotta
It's too
have,
predictable. Too
yeah,
predictable. You got
yeah.
to do you can either do like juicy fruit or you can do like why don't we get drunk and screw? That's a fan favorite. That gets some laughs and some people involved. Um that's just a classic
Like
American song, you know?
Cheeseburger in Paradise is a good
Cheeseburger
one
in
because
Paradise.
that has like a hook that people can sing back.
My favorite thing is this is my favorite part of Jimmy Buffett concerts. Have you ever heard the song Fins?
Yeah, where everybody like does
Yeah,
they
there's
put
this
their
part where
fins
it's
up in
like
their
you
head.
got fins to the left, fins to,
Yeah.
and you just see this whole sea of like just granola ass white people just on the lawn, and they're like, and they follow along with the song, and then they do this, and they like circle with it,
Oh,
and it's just
it's
like
like I'm there.
it's a euphoric feeling. I'm not gonna lie, it is. It's just a euphoric feeling. And you see all these drunk people like trying to do this, but they still have their beer in their hands. So they're just
Oh
like
yeah.
spilling beer all over the place.
Uh huh.
It's just like I think a rite of passage. Like everybody needs to see that at least once in person live. I'd put that experience up there with like hiking in Yosemite. Like you got to see these people spilling their beer on the lawn. It's just something else. I'm telling you, it's like even if you don't like Jimmy Buffett, I've had friends that have gone that don't like Jimmy Buffett and they have the best time. They're just like, this is like amazing. I'm a big time people watcher. Like I love just people watching. That is the ultimate people watching experience, hands down.
So for a while, he got kicked out of the Roanoke Civic Center. It's where my sister lived, and she was a part of. There was like a Parrot Head club that met,
Oh, the parrot heads, yeah.
so he got kicked out of doing concerts there because they would tailgate everyone, like not just the Parrot Heads, but like everyone who went to go see me Jimmy Buffett tailgated
Yeah.
before the Jimmy Buffett concert, so they could be good and toasty before
Mm-hmm.
they step
Got
in
to be
those
well
doors.
lubricated.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be
Mm-hmm.
well lubricated. They're strict though. Like because I've seen him in Virginia Beach and I've seen him in DC up at Bristow, and you can't just have like a beer in a can. Like you gotta have like a red Solo cup. They know everybody's drinking, but like
You gotta have
they
like the big
can't just let
McDonald's tea with the beer
yeah,
inside of it with the
because
straw
they won't
down.
check you. They know
Yeah.
you're drinking, but like they don't have like the probable cause and like feel obligated to be like you got to throw that away. But if you're just out with a beer, they're like, yo, you got to put that away. So
Exactly.
you got to be kind of sneaky, but it's also a Jimmy Buffett tailgate, so you know everybody's in the parking lot just getting hammered. The worst part, here's the thing I think that like people don't talk about
Uh-huh.
enough, concerts in general,
Yeah.
tailgating in general. Like there is never I've never seen the correct like people to porta potty ratio ever. Ever. Like have you think about it. There's never not like a long line and you never time it right. You're never like I'm going to have to pee in about 15 minutes. I should go get in line now. It's always like, oh my God, I'm about to pee my pants. And then you got to stand in line with some other drunk people that you don't want to talk to. And then you get up there and like everybody's like looking for like the green, like vacant. Like you got to like check all of them to make sure
Yeah.
nobody's not in one.
Yeah, and then as you go later on in the evening, like then people are just like tugging on doors, and then you're like,
Hmm.
that's like the least favorite feeling is like trying to pee in a porta potty, and somebody's like
Yeah.
tugging on the door, like,
Yeah.
let me in, I'm
Also, there's
big.
all like the holes around, like you can kind of see out.
Yeah.
And like one time I remember I made like really awkward eye contact with someone through those holes that was like checking the porta potty. Like, and it wasn't like I mean, they were like in my face. They were looking to see.
If somebody
I
was
was
in
just
there.
like, what are we doing? It was almost like a horror movie. Like, cause you could just see their
Uh-huh.
face like right there. I don't know. And that one was rough, but that's why like anymore after a few of those after a few Buffett concerts you just kind of you learn before you even feel like you got to pee, just go get in
Go do
line.
it. Yeah.
But you miss half the tailgate. That's the problem. Like you leave and then you miss half the tailgate going to pee. So maybe that's $1 million idea. Jimmy Buffett catheter just for the
A
concert.
Jimmy
Just
Buffett catheter.
pop that bad boy in there and
Something like that. Something like that.
oh no.
Speaking,
I got way off the rails there.
Oh, that's fine. That's good. I'm gonna add on to this, like to the revelry of Weird Summertime. In what I'm excited for. So a lot of people like played a lot of drinking games in college, and so we were with our friends, and we were like, okay, well, what if we had like a college night where we just like we threw like a college party for like 8 adults. Like we just but we played all the same games and like made it like a little theme, And my favorite game to play in college was a game called Stump. Have you ever played Stump?
I have not, no.
So what Stump is you get a very big stump, probably 3 feet tall, I'd say a foot and a half to 2 feet in diameter. Everyone gets a nail, a big old nail with a big old head on it. And you there's one hammer, and everybody like taps their nail in enough so that it can like stick into the stump. And so then your nail that you put in is your drink. So it is like the ratio of your drink when you start. And then you go in a circle, and what you do is you take a hammer, throw it up,
flip it, and then
360, catch it, and then hit somebody else's nail to make them drink.
Oh.
So it's like
I like that.
Trying to get it.
Yeah.
And you just pass the hammer, and everybody takes a turn.
And you can hit anybody's nail, not anybody's nail. The one next to you.
You can be really drunk and hit your own nail, which I have seen people do, and that's extra funny. That's actually funny.
I'd say so.
Because when you're doing 360 motions and trying to hit things, like all of the nails on a stump just like run together in your head, and so you just like your nail is the closest nail to you, so there's the probability of that happening. But our buddy, who we've talked about pretty much all episode, has been texting me and is we're getting a stump, and we're going to play Stump. Stump is coming back. We're going to play it.
I want to play.
Well,
I want to try this out.
You'll be there. It will be a Stump event. Like it'll just be like.
I love it.
We're going to Stump Town. Like that's what.
We're going to Stump Town.
We're going to Stump Town. We're gonna go down to Stump Town. We're gonna get hammered at Stump Town.
I'm ready for this.
I'd imagine that along with Stump, we would play Kings. I think is a good one. With the cards and the
Kings
make a rule. That's a classic. People call it a bunch of different stuff, but I call it quarters. It's where you have a little quarter and you bounce the quarter into the thing, the little drink. And then if you get the quarter in there, then the person beside you has to drink. It's like a whole situation.
You ever play Boom?
I've never played Boom. What's Boom? See, we all had different experiences. Everyone in our friends group pretty much went to outside of the friends that you made in college. Everyone went to a different situation, and so everybody has like different experiences. So what we all need to get together and combine them. So what's Boom?
I'm gonna have to this will have to be a separate explanation because I haven't played it in so long that I know that like my description will not be.
That's fine.
Makes sense. But there also was a game. I can't remember the name of this one, where it was like this one was my favorite. It was you would have like 2 people at each end of the table, kind of like beer pong, but you would have a can on every corner, 1 can of beer on each corner, and you'd have a ping pong ball. And so you would throw the ball trying to hit one of the cans on the other side. And if you hit it and it bounced, if you hit the can, that player with that corresponding beer had to go get the ball, and the ball would obviously go flying somewhere. They would have to go get the ball, and you would drink for as long as they were going to get the ball. And as soon as they touched the ball to the table, you had to quit. And it was whichever side of the table finished their beers first. So you're getting pretty drunk, but it was so much fun because like people are screaming and like slinging the ball as hard as they can. So like people are getting pelted with a pong ball like in the face. It's fun. And the drunker you get, see, like those are the games I miss from college. Like just like being stupid.
Right. It's
I
just
don't
like
know.
coming up with stupid stuff. Like we played Drunken Mario Kart, which there's a strat because you gotta like drink a whole beer or whatever drink. Now it's probably
Yeah.
like, gonna be like hard seltzer or hard kombucha for me. Um,
What's your tactic?
so
What's your like winning move on this?
I used to do. Here's what I used to do, and what I would now do. Like I've had years to think about this and steer with
Yeah.
this. So my original tactic was do the race first. Like just like do the
Hmm.
race all the way through. Once I get to the end, then
Hmm.
chug the beer because I can control how fast I can chug the beer. Like I
Hmm.
can go slow or do it fast, and like that's not gonna matter. But here's the
Hmm.
thing. Here's the thing. The thing that I recently learned is if you chug the beer first
Hmm.
and just like do it as fast as you can
Yeah.
and then drive, you're going to get all of the good items because you're in
Hmm.
last place. And that's when you get the star power. That's when you get all the different stuff. So
Exactly.
you're going to do it really fast when you do it.
Yep.
But then there's probably a hybrid option that allows you to kind of like feel out what you want. And so even doing the race halfway, stopping, then chugging, then come back and get those power ups and like have that option there, I think is also a good play. So
I like to do whatever the opposite is that everyone else is doing because normally people will like all of them will start chugging immediately. So if I see everybody else chugging, then that's when I will go first to the end. If
okay.
everybody just goes, that's when I chug first because I feel like I give myself possibly a difference there.
It's all about you're like reactionary. You're like
Yeah.
utilizing some sort of like alternative strategy. It's like okay, if
Yeah.
they're doing this.
I'm like, if I do something different, I could lose, but I have a chance at maybe being in a different position as the rest of them. That's my like go-to.
I
I
had a
feel
guy
like.
that would do drifting, and so what he would do is our rule was that you like to drink the beer, you couldn't touch the controller. And so like
Yeah.
he would have the controller and drive and drive and drive and let go of the gas and drop the controller at the same time so he'd go a little extra farther and have
Yeah.
the beer close enough to him so that he could drink it for a little bit and then hit the gas again.
So he
Like
would
and like
still keep kind of going a little
yeah,
bit.
there was like a little trail off, and then he would, every time he would stop, he'd trail off. Speaking of trailing off, I think we've gotten to the end of the show here. So you can catch all of the wonderful content that Six Ways Sunday puts out on all of the different podcast services. We have a YouTube channel. You can watch the live stream. We normally do Wednesdays at 5 p.m. when we can. Work is pretty crazy, so it depends on my work's about to get a little more crazy. So like the amount of times that we want to do every week. Like if all else fails, I mean we want to do every week, but sometimes we're gonna miss a few, and you know what? That's fine. That's all right.
Right.
It at least will be every other week. But we want to hit that week by week because we just like talk to each other so much.
Yeah.
Don't forget to leave us a review on iTunes or just tell your friends about us. If you're like, oh, I kind of don't like listening to the news anymore. Being like, well, I listen to a news program that's totally not a news program where they talk about news stories that are not offensive and are well, I mean, I don't know, 17 or 18 snakes in a bed is pretty offensive, so I don't know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say there. That is a little bit lighter. I don't like it's a little less serious than your normal take.
Yeah.
So
We're just two guys that like to have two wild and crazy guys.
two loud and crazy guys, Austin, what you got going on in your life? You got anything to share? Got anything to do? I saw that you are pushing your store some more.
Yeah, I've been trying to add some more prints. I actually just got a few in. Hold on. Let me go. I just actually got some in the mail. Yeah, hold on.
He's gonna go get those prints. While he's getting those prints, I'm gonna let you know what I've got going on in my life. So I have a new project that you'll be seeing about soon, probably in the next few weeks. You'll be seeing me essentially create. It's like multimedia, I suppose. I would stay tuned to my social media channels. You can find me at Dave Chaffins. It's going to be its own separate thing. It is, I guess, fictional, which is weird. So stay tuned for that. I always do Fallout Hub. That's every other Tuesday. We can talk about all the new updates. This week we're going to talk about all of the crazy stuff with private worlds that they're adding in, so that's going to be fun. And sometimes I do another podcast called Starfield Lorecast. That's like an every so often podcast. You can get all of that stuff on my social media. If you just go to my Twitter page, I know, and people are like, oh, I don't use Twitter. I'm on Instagram too. Don't go to my Facebook, because the only reason you go to my Facebook is if you're trying to like find me, and I don't post on there. So just do Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at Davey Diggy Dog, which I haven't done in a while. I need to do some more TikToking. Now, Austin, show off. Tell me about these photographs here.
I don't even know if anybody's watching right now, and if anybody's listening, they're not going to see them.
You can go to the YouTube. There's a YouTube video. That's a great opportunity to go to the YouTube video and check out some of these prints he's going to show off right now.
Well, I haven't actually taken this out of the plastic yet. I literally got these in today. But I have a few black and white options, metallic prints here. This is from Yosemite. I got this one mostly just to test out the printing, and I was very impressed with the lab I've been using. So I've got some black and white prints, and then I've got a few, like this is actually my favorite print of mine from Yosemite as well, metallic. I need to get it in an anti-reflective glass, but the printing is super easy. I use this lab called Bay Photo Lab, and if you order prints, you'll typically get them within a week. Right to your door, super securely packaged, not rolled up, so you don't have to like flatten it out after you get it. It's all already just kind of flattened out. And my store is on like all my social medias. I've got it linked. AustinO'Connor.smugmug.com. I've got some super cheap options.
Yeah, we've got that in the link. So if you click in the show notes below, there's only one link, and that sends you the 6 Ways to Sunday links. And Austin's store is in the links, so you can like it's 2 button clicks away from you right now. Yeah.
I've got some super cheap options, and yeah, there's a lot of different finishes you can get. You can do all sorts of stuff. Wall mounts. You can do like canvas. You can do normal prints. There's all sorts of cool stuff you can do on there. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've got going on right now.
That's great. That's a great thing to have going on right now. I think I got to share what I had going on, so you didn't get to hear that, but I told you a little bit. You know more than I let on people know, and you know some secret information.
I know all sorts of stuff
about you. I think that's it for this week. So I'll just say that from Holler to Highway, we've got you covered 6 Ways to Sunday.